Okay, we all know Idaho is the potato state, but who gets to own the tater tot origin story? Turns out Oregon is claiming ownership over that fried snack. So today on CityCast Boise, I'm digging into this Spud story with Portland food writer Heather Arndt Anderson. Plus, Heather shares why Boise bar menus probably need to up their tater game. It's Thursday, April 11th. I'm Frankie Barnhill in for Lindsay Van Allen, and this is what Boise's talking about. Heather, thank you for being on CityCast Boise to really help me settle a beef that I have with CityCast Portland. So thanks for being here.
Sure.
So yes, shout out to our friends and colleagues at CityCast Portland, but they did have you on their podcast last year, I believe, to talk about the origins of the tater tots, and my blood pressure just rose and rose throughout the conversation because it turns out maybe that Idaho, as much as we can claim potatoes overall, and Boise can claim a lot of potato money and agriculture power, maybe we can't claim the tater tot? What the hell? What's going on?
I know that probably came across as shots fired, but yeah, we don't claim to be better at potatoes in Oregon, even though it is our official state vegetable. We just take things that other people create and find, and then we perfect them. We don't invent a lot of things out here in the West. So yeah, the tater tot was invented in Oregon on the border, but I'm still going to call it. I mean, the company is called Ida, not Ida Gone. Yeah, I mean, I guess that go ahead. It puts Oregon first and foremost in the importance of the tater tot.
Yeah, the naming convention.
Yeah.
All right. But I mean, Ontario, it's technically part of the Boise Metro. It just happens to be across the border, across a river. So tell me, though, for real, let's get into the origins of the tater tot. Because, yeah, I think a lot of people in Idaho and Boise might be surprised to know that it wasn't actually invented in Idaho at all. So, yeah, how did Ida create this delicious snack?
Well, these two brothers who had bought a defunct factory out in Eastern Oregon, they were specializing in frozen corn, frozen potato products, things like that. And with the corn waste products, they could just feed that to cattle in the area. And they were kind of doing the same thing with potatoes, the peels and the bits that they weren't putting into French fries. Were just going to cattle feed. But unlike corn husks and stems, potato skins and potato chunks are still perfectly edible to humans. And so they figured they could probably find a new way to use those rather than just giving them or throwing them away. And so they mashed the little chopped up bits up into a cylinder and cut it into bite-sized little potato buddies.
Wow.
And yeah, they were a hit.
So tater tots are really skins, or at least they were in their original form for the most part?
They are not. I don't think they include the skins themselves. And I know that Keebler tried their darndest to make tater skins a thing.
I see.
I loved tater skins, but no, it's just like the little chunks and bits. When you cut a French fry, there's like the
extras.
bits.
The extras.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So when we say Ida, it's Ida, which is the classic slogan that's been forever. I just have to throw in a couple of fun facts to, once again, connect this to Boise, because I think that a lot of Boiseans would say, hey, this is our thing. My father-in-law worked at Ida for many years in Boise. And when my husband was little, he was actually featured in an Ida commercial. So I think, maybe I'm married into a version of a potato dynasty, but from many steps away. But it does feel like today, a lot of people in Boise don't spend time thinking about this company anymore. And obviously it was purchased by Heinz a long time ago. But I did see recently, did you see this? I'm sure you know this, that another Boise dynasty, a potato dynasty company, Simplot, actually bought that Ontario plant.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that helps us to reclaim the tater tot a little bit, because a Boise-based company now owns that infamous Ontario plant that makes these tater tots in.
That could be true, but you guys don't have tachos. So
oh my God.
I will wrest the tot back from Boise in hands and keep my flag firmly planted, my tater tot flag. It's a brown flag,
Yeah,
but it's
kind of looks like a turd, just like anything that's potato does. Let's get into tachos because, you mentioned how maybe Oregon didn't invent it, or did invent it and possibly perfected it too. What are tachos?
Tachos are the two best bar foods together on one platter. It's a nacho made with tater tots instead of chips. So all of the delicious trappings of a nacho, you've got your cheese sauce, your maybe meat or maybe whatever, pulled pork if you're into that. Salsa, sour cream, maybe a little black olive if you're fancy. Yeah, wow. And then you just pop that under the salamander and get it all nice and melty.
Perfect bar food. I don't think that Boise really has this. I was like, oh, my tater tot. Okay, what tater tot menus can I pull up? I think it does seem like Portland has taken basically in Boise. It's like you're ordering tots and you get tots and fry sauce or tots and ranch or tots and ketchup. But kind of elevating the art form a little, maybe.
Yeah, we had legal marijuana before y'all. So I think
we don't have it at all. So yeah.
Okay, yes.
But we do go to Ontario for it. So tater tots, marijuana, all of it in Ontario. Yeah.
I'm just going to hazard a guess that cannabis culture and tacho culture have a very tight Venn diagram.
I think that's probably pretty fair. Do you have a favorite spot in Portland? Any recommendations for anyone who wants to try tachos next time they're there?
I make tachos at home quite a bit because then I can really key them to my specific tastes. The place where they were invented is a bar. I don't want to say the name because I don't want to disparage them on the air, but the people who invented it don't make the best version, in my opinion. And they're just, I think that you have to cook the tots fresh so that they're really hot when you put the toppings on. Because if you're just using a cold pre-cooked tot and then just melting the cheese, then the tots underneath are still cold. And Boxer Ramen used to have a really good one. They're a ramen shop here. Theirs have like bonito flakes and stuff on them. Mad Greek Deli has them, which, they're not the same as the Tex-Mex flavors, but they're good.
Sure. And I think the key here is that, we're saying tacho and maybe it sounds like it's Tex-Mex vibes, but a potato can be the basis for anything and any flavor palette. So I'll throw out one that I did think of. I was like, where have I had inventive-ish tater tots? And I would say that if you ever come to Boise, go to Payette Brewing. It's right along our river and the Greenbelt, and the food there, they actually have this great food truck called Queen's Food Truck, and the chef there makes these queso tots. So they use some of the beer queso from the brewery right there, and then pickled jalapenos, lime crema, green onion. I love those tater tots a lot.
That sounds delicious. I made some tachos the other day when we had our snow day here. We are all iced in here in Portland in early January. I made some with homemade birria. So I sprinkled the stewy, juicy meat on top and then lots of cheese and toasted that under the broiler until it was all crisped up.
Oh, man.
And it was divine.
That sounds fabulous. Like a little consomme or whatever on the side or
you can dip it in or just dribble it over.
Oh my gosh, that's fabulous. Okay, let's get back to a little bit more of the history of the tater tot. Did it take a while for tater tots to really take off? Because of course there were fries and other potato products already on the market probably.
So it's funny because I think I referenced the Betty Crocker effect. So American shoppers were suspicious about tater tots because A, they were made from a waste product, and B, they were very affordable. And so it just seemed kind of déclassé to a lot of people, I think. And so once, I jacked the price up a little bit, then people are like, oh, okay, this is a cool new convenience luxury item for middle-class people.
So fancy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, by mid-century, so they were invented by the 40s. By the 60s, they were already on cafeteria school menus. And so they really got that industrial embrace that I think they're they're still sort of known for. I mean, like one of my favorite scenes in the movie Napoleon Dynamite, of course, the tot scene. I just feel like, yeah, tater tots are inextricable from the American public school cafeteria.
Yes.
And that, has gone a long way in cementing the tot as a fixture of the American table.
Yeah. Napoleon Dynamite, another Idaho thing.
Yes.
I'm just going to keep hacking away, Heather.
It's okay.
Yeah. And I think like my mom made a tater tot casserole. Like it was like the classic, like, easy bake, just throw it in the oven. Don't have to think about it. Mm-hmm. Maybe take a can of, I think she used like can of mushroom soup. Like, oh my God, I think back on it and I want to die. But
no, it's great. Cream of mushroom like saved so many women's dinner table. I mean, like, imagine how much work it would have been to make a bechamel from scratch just to make a hot dish.
Every night. Yes. Right. Exactly.
Just to make a sloppy old casserole.
Okay, I do want to, let's get back into the debate a little bit more because I know that Oregon raises, how many potatoes? We got more potatoes than you guys. You know that.
Oh yeah, by orders of magnitude.
Totally. But I did hear, like, I think in 2022, Idaho potato crop, I think it was like $1.41 billion versus Oregon's $245 million the same year. So not in the same ballpark, but Oregon is raising, it's your state vegetable, you said.
It is our state vegetable.
Yeah. Is it becoming more common to grow potatoes in Oregon, or is it about the same as it's been for a while?
I don't know that much. Those, what are they, the field crops, like dry beans, potatoes. We do most of those in Eastern Oregon. And then, we do grow some shelling beans in the valley. And I live on west of the Cascades. And so in the valley, we have a completely different climate.
Right.
Eastern Oregon is much more like Idaho. So yeah, I wouldn't say that we're like ramping up potato production so much to like try to keep up with Idaho in any way. It's just, a good money-making crop here. I think that when I really think about how new potato varieties are being developed at Oregon State University or, with the Culinary Breeding Network, which operates out of OSU. They're working more with growers outside of the region. So for a potato, I would imagine they would be working with growers in South America, whereas if it was like a radicchio or a different specialty crop, they might be working with European growers. So yeah, I think that introducing heirloom varieties into our rotation, it sounds great, but I think that we're kind of still just doing russets like y'all are doing, it's where the money is.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
Where the French fries come from. And
right.
Yeah, I think that people who shop in farmers markets and people who buy potatoes on the regular are either going to fall into the camp of like, I want these beautiful little fingerling, give me like a rose-colored skin that I can just have in a restaurant type meal, or they want this industrial, steady, russet, the workhorse of the potato family.
Okay, you're super knowledgeable about all of this, obviously, Heather. What got you interested in the tater tot history in particular?
Oh, I've always been interested in Oregon products. And I say that sounds so nerdy. I have always been interested in Oregon products, though. And I consider myself like a professional booster for Oregon ingredients.
Yeah, you're a stan for Oregon stuff. I get it.
And it's just one of those funny things that you don't think of Oregon as like cornering any kind of potato market. But we have just a fun handful of little products that happen to come from here. We also invented the JoJo. Do you call them JoJo's?
Yeah, totally.
We invented JoJo's. Okay. Another company, Lamb Weston.
Yeah.
Lamb Weston invented the machine that produces curly fries. That was also an Oregon invention. So the kind of the holy trinity of fried potato products are all Oregon born.
Except for the McDonald's fry, which
right.
J.R. Simplot had that, the story goes that he had that handshake deal with Ray Kroc to start selling fries to McDonald's, which obviously grew fry and potato appetites around the world. But yeah, okay.
True.
Fair.
No, and I take back what I said about it, the Holy Trinity being the JoJo, the tot, and the curly fry. Obviously, yeah, regular linear French fries are the best known.
Although I will say, does Portland, do you guys do a lot of fry sauce? Is that big there too, or more ranch and ketchup?
We are more ranch people. A lot of places do have a fry sauce, but it's I mean, we all know it's just relish, mayo, and ketchup.
Supposedly. Yeah.
Sometimes there's a little bit more mayo. Sometimes they'll slip a little mustard in there.
A little Tabasco. Or, yeah,
a little sriracha.
Yeah.
Make it zesty.
We learned from our colleagues in Salt Lake, so CityCast Salt Lake, we had a similar throwdown because they were telling us that actually we invented fry sauce because fry sauce is a big deal in Idaho. So I think between the 3 states, there's a lot going on of trading back and forth some recipes a little bit.
Yeah. I was just really surprised and overjoyed when Heinz got involved and the Ore-Ida. I was like, oh, it's perfect. Together at last.
Totally. The Pennsylvania connection. Yeah. Heather, this has been so much fun. I think we're going to agree to disagree about who can take this ownership, but I really appreciate learning more about this, and I think this is super fun. So thank you so much for talking about tater tots with us.
Of course. Anytime you want to talk about any controversial food, holler at me.
Okay, we'll get into it. All right, that's all for today here on CityCast Boise. If you enjoyed the show, you should check out our website. We have more local food and dining info there. That's boise.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with our Friday News Roundup. See you then.